Yeah, so Tony. Just ready? Here we go. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I play the trombone.
I play the trumpet.
I play the clarinet.
Currently, we have a beginning band that starts totally fresh, and then we have an intermediate band, and then we have a senior band. The whole idea is to start fresh and then keep building on what we've done the year before, and just to give them as much musical knowledge and fluency as I can. And the more fluent they become in playing music, the more options we have. So this year we've been able to do a bunch of pop tunes that they bring in on their iPods and they say, let's do this song.
We have a lot of open discussions, which is really fun. We get to decide what we like as a group, what songs we want to play.
There's really two things that we're trying to accomplish, and one is for each individual student to become musically proficient on their instrument, but then also for the band to sound good. We can have 5 really, really good students, and then if we have 5 students who are struggling, that becomes a problem that is common to all of us. So they really have to see themselves as being more than just an individual musician. They have to see themselves as being part of a band.
It definitely teaches you a lot of teamwork and how to listen to others, because it's not an individual part. Like, sure, there's solos and stuff at times and the melody gets passed around between groups, but it teaches you teamwork, that you have to listen to others and feed off each other. And usually we start a piece, and by the time we go to perform the piece, I don't need to look at the conductor much or look at my music much, because I can just listen around me and then I can tell where I am.
For me, it's a balance between addressing individual struggles and then addressing just the overall needs of the band. In terms of a classroom scenario, if something's not going well, I just try to assess, is this a band problem or is this an individual problem? If you have 14 out of 15 people that can play a song really well and one person who's really struggling, that becomes an individual problem. And sometimes it's like, okay, you don't understand the music, so you need coaching. And sometimes it's just like, I know you understand it, you just need to practice. Right now, the lesson in band is, let's get outside of your own head and let's think about the big picture. I have students who are really dedicated, they work hard, and I give them solos. I really want to encourage the individualistic aspect, but I feel that our need right now is on building the community in the band, and then the individuality will grow out of that. We do the traditional band concerts every year. We do a Christmas concert, we do a spring concert, year-end concert. But some of the highlights have been, we performed in Kelowna, downtown in Carey Park, which was cool because we had people just coming and watching. And when it's your parents showing up, as meaningful as that is, it's not as affirming sometimes as if you're playing out and strangers are coming to listen to you. You know, because they have nothing invested in you whatsoever. So for them to stop and listen means that you're doing something well. When you're in band and you're working towards a performance, there's something real at stake. I'm going to be on stage and I want to sound good. I don't want to sound crappy. For many students, they'll work really hard to do really well in that context, and that will give them a taste of success. And so hopefully that feeling of success in music will then transfer and help them to experience, like, hey, if I work hard, I can be successful.
Learning how to read music is just like learning any other language. It opens up a certain part of your brain that makes you susceptible to learning things that you probably couldn't without that musical background. When you're listening to music or when you're just in everyday life, it makes you think differently.
It helps a lot with your learning, your coordination. So sports, it helps me a lot. In school, math, it's really helpful in a lot of points in your life that you wouldn't think are helpful and tied to music.
This school is so much different than any other school. Here, I've got a grade 10, 11, 12 band, and we've got like 15 students. It forces everyone to carry their weight. You know, when you're in a band of 60 students and you've got 15 clarinets or 15 flutes, if you've got one person who's struggling, it's easy for the teacher to miss them and not notice that they're struggling. And then it's also easier for them to sort of just blend in. In this sort of setting, if you have 14 people and one person doesn't know the music, it really has a tremendous effect on the quality of the band. And so it then becomes, you do have more one-on-one time, but it becomes that much more essential that everyone gets proper instruction. What we have is tremendous community support, tremendous flexibility. We can have a year where students can play a year of rock music off their iPods and play in the local pub. That wouldn't happen in a big school somewhere like Vancouver. We like to go on tour. So previously I referred to them as trips. From now on I'm going to refer to them as tours because it makes them think about it as a musical experience versus just a trip. This year we went to San Francisco with the senior band. We heard the Wynton Marsalis Lincoln Center Jazz Orchestra.
They were amazing, like so amazing. I couldn't even explain it. I was jaw dropped the whole time.
We heard Kurt Elling, who is an international jazz vocalist.
But that was really interesting. I'd never seen anything like that. He did like scat, which is like crazy for us to be like, what is going on?
We just had an opportunity to encounter some really phenomenal music.
It was also a very interesting cultural experience coming from like a small town and seeing the big city and how it worked, and it was just very different and very fun.
I think you get to experience different things. Like it's not your basic class when you're going at school. You get to go and do different things, I mean.
I think music impacts me as a person in every way possible. I think learning music is a really important life skill for everyone to learn.
For me, music was always just something that was incredibly meaningful to me, so that's why I want to share it with other students.